Hi, I'm Scott Schwefel, and I want to welcome you to your Insights Discovery journey. My own journey of self-discovery started 25 years ago. At the time, I was searching for ways to better understand myself and help my teams understand each other. I explored different personality assessments, trying to find something that truly made a difference. The day I first discovered Insights Discovery, suddenly everything clicked. Concepts I had struggled to apply before now made sense, not just for me, but also for my leaders, managers, and teams. It was a game changer. Insights Discovery gave us all a deeper level of self-awareness, but equally as important, a common language to help us communicate more effectively with each other hundreds of times every day. The power of Insights Discovery is that it invites people in a very simple way, utilizing 4 color energies to understand self and others. And then it allows people to experience a level of impact that can be truly profound.
Hi, I'm Linda Schwefel. 20 years ago, I was working for a Fortune 500 company when I first learned about Insights Discovery. I'd been through almost every personality assessment that existed. Each one offered a brief boost of self-awareness, but nothing really stuck. The next day it was back to business as usual, but then I participated in an Insights Discovery workshop, and it changed my life. For the first time, I truly understood myself, why some things came naturally to me, why I had certain struggles, and why I approached work and relationships the way I did. The simple language of the Insights Discovery color energies made everything so clear. It was interesting timing because I had just decided to hang up my corporate hat and stay home with my 3 young kids. But I was so impacted by the workshop I'd done that day that I made another commitment to teach others about the color energies once my children were older. So, for the last 15 years, I've been flying around the world, helping people discover who they are, how they're showing up, and how they're impacting others.
Today, Linda and I run a company called Discover Yourself. We teach individuals, teams, and leaders in organizations of all sizes all over the world about the Insights Discovery color energies, helping them become more self-aware and more aware of the communication needs of others. Now let's get started. To help you understand the Insights Discovery color energies, we'd like to go back to where personality typing systems began. Hippocrates suggested 4 types of personalities as far back as 400 BC, as you can see in this historical image. Hippocrates made the assumption that personality type was linked to bodily fluids. Luckily, we've come a long way since those early attempts to identify people's personalities. The systems in use today are researched and validated. Over the last 100 years, several personality typing systems have emerged to be market leaders, and as a result, millions of people worldwide have experienced them. Today, the Insights Discovery system is available in over 30 languages and used worldwide. More than 10 million people have an Insights Discovery profile. Before we dive into an explanation of the Insights Discovery system, it's important to talk for a moment about perception. We all see the world in our own unique way. The way you see things, your perception, is shaped by your experiences, upbringing, and personality. It's like a personal lens that influences how you think, feel, and interact with others. It's your reality. Your Insights Discovery color energies have a profound impact on your perception. We will spend time throughout this journey looking at how.
What we love about the Insights Discovery color energies is that it strikes a perfect balance between easy to understand and easy to use. But at the same time, it allows people to go deeper, embarking on a journey of self-awareness to really gain a sense of who they are. Insights Discovery begins as a simple 4-color model with descriptions that help define the meaning of the personalities they represent. Fiery red, sunshine yellow, earth green, and cool blue. Each of these 4-color energies designates a communication preference that people have. Understanding that you should be direct for fiery red energy and be patient for earth green energy, be enthusiastic with sunshine yellow energy, and be logical for cool blue energy equips you to improve every interaction you have with another person. Imagine how this could improve your daily interactions. Every text, email, and conversation can be clearer, more effective, and more meaningful. But Insights Discovery isn't just about understanding others. It's also about understanding yourself. It gives you a new way to see your own style, personality, and understanding of why you do what you do. You are unique in this world, and we all see the world differently. By learning this model, you'll start to see both yourself and the people around you in a whole new way. We are so glad you are joining us on this journey of self-exploration and honored you have chosen us to be your guides as we explore this easy-to-use four-color model of self-awareness. Let's take a look at how these color energies show up on a good day, a day when we're at our best and in flow. As we describe each color energy, think about which one, or ones, resonate with you the most. Imagine yourself at work or in your daily interactions. Are you drawn to the description of fiery red energy, earth green energy, sunshine yellow energy, or cool blue energy? Which descriptions sound more like you? Which feel less like you? Let's start with fiery red and earth green. When you're using fiery red energy, you are direct, decisive, determined, proactive, and purposeful. You move fast, make things happen, and focus on results. Limits? They're there to be tested. People who lead with fiery red energy are independent, courageous, and determined. They take charge and face challenges head on. But because they like to keep things moving, they can get impatient when others don't act quickly enough. If you're someone who thrives on action and getting things done, fiery red energy might be one of your strongest preferences. The motto for fiery red energy is, "Do it now." When you're using earth green energy, you are sincere, considerate, patient, empathetic, and thoughtful. You value relationships, take the time to listen, and approach situations with empathy and diplomacy. People who lead with earth green energy create trust, reliability, and mutual respect. They stand by their beliefs and support the people around them. However, in their effort to keep the peace, they may sometimes avoid conflict. If you naturally focus on building strong relationships and creating a supportive environment, earth green energy may be a key part of who you are. The motto for earth green energy is, "Do it with care."
Now let's take a look at the other two color energies, sunshine yellow and cool blue. When you're using sunshine yellow energy, you are enthusiastic, persuasive, engaging, sociable, and optimistic. You bring boundless energy to any situation and connect with people easily. People who lead with sunshine yellow energy value self-expression, interaction, and positivity. They bring fun and optimism to a team, but because they thrive on connection, they may struggle with criticism or feeling left out. If you're someone who loves engaging with others and keeping the enthusiasm high, sunshine yellow energy may be one of your strongest preferences. The motto for sunshine yellow energy is, "Do it together." When you're using cool blue energy, you are analytical, reserved, objective, logical, and questioning. You like structure, details, and well-thought-out decisions. People who lead with cool blue energy value accuracy, objectivity, and preparation. They remain calm under pressure and take time to find the best possible solution. However, because they like to think things through, they may take longer to make decisions. If you naturally focus on getting things right and thinking before you act, cool blue energy may be a strong part of your personality. The motto for cool blue energy is, "Do it right." So, which of these descriptions felt most like you? It's important to understand that we're each a blend of all four color energies, but we each have a unique order of preference for them. What would be your order of these four color energies? Which one would come first and be most preferred? Which would come second, influencing the first? Which one would come third? And finally, which would be your least preferred color energy? There's no right or wrong answer. It's simply what feels most natural to you. As we continue this journey, you'll start to see how these color energies shape not only your personality, but also how you interact with others.
Let's be honest, no one operates in a stress-free environment all the time. So what happens when we're under stress, agitated, and having a bad day? How might our color energies be seen? Whether it's a tight deadline, a miscommunication, or just one of those mornings where nothing goes right. Stress can bring out a different side of us. Let's look at what may happen when we overuse the gifts of our color energies. On a bad day under stress, fiery red, normally direct, determined, and purposeful, can come across as aggressive, controlling, and overbearing. Sunshine yellow, usually enthusiastic and optimistic, can seem excitable, frantic, and even disruptive. Earth green, typically sincere, considerate, and thoughtful, may become withdrawn, indignant, and stubborn. And cool blue, known for being objective, logical, and questioning, might seem detached, cold, and suspicious.
We all have stressful moments, and it's important to recognize that. But awareness is the key. When you understand how your strengths can become challenges under pressure, you also gain the ability to adjust, step back, and choose how you respond. Think back to your order of color energies. Which one was your least preferred? Have you ever found yourself frustrated by someone who leads with that energy? It's interesting to consider, isn't it? Dr. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist whose work Insights Discovery is based on, once said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." So here's a final question to reflect on. Do we see and appreciate all of the color energies equally?
The Insights Discovery model is based on the work of Carl Jung, a Swiss psychologist from the early 20th century. In 1921, Jung introduced the terms extroversion and introversion to describe the differences in how we interact with the world around us. These terms have become common language. People with a preference for extroversion get energy from interacting with others around them. They are outgoing and responsive, quick to engage and inject their opinion, and often think out loud as they speak. Fiery red and sunshine yellow both share this preference. On the other hand, people with a preference for introversion get their energy from within. They use observation and reflection to gather their thoughts. They tend to listen first and form their thoughts before saying anything. In other words, they think to speak. Earth green and cool blue both share this preference. Jung also identified two ways people make decisions: thinking and feeling. Thinking relies on logic and objective facts, helping us analyze, think critically, and draw logical conclusions. Those with a preference for thinking tend to be more task-focused, concentrating on what needs to be done rather than who is involved. You could say they rely on their head to make decisions. Fiery red and cool blue both share this preference. Feeling uses personal values to make subjective judgments about whether something is agreeable or not. Those with a preference for feeling tend to be more relationship-focused, considering who is affected rather than just what happens. They rely on their heart to make decisions. Sunshine yellow and earth green both share this preference. When we combine these traits, we get fiery red as extroverted thinking, direct, task-focused, and results-driven. Cool blue as introverted thinking, analytical, structured, and detail-oriented. Sunshine yellow as extroverted feeling, enthusiastic, social, and people-focused. And earth green as introverted feeling, thoughtful, caring, and relationship-driven. There is no best combination. Every business needs a balance between task focus and relationship focus. We need to get the job done right and get it done now to see success. But we also need to have people fully committed personally, working together in a caring way. Finally, Jung identified two ways people take in information: sensation and intuition. People with a preference for sensation experience things in a concrete, realistic way. They are practical, organized, and create structure where there is none. They see things simply as they are, focusing on what's real and tangible. People with a preference for intuition focus on possibilities and ideas, experiencing things not as they are, but rather as what they could be. They see underlying meanings and envision the future. Sensation and intuition can be linked to each of the four color energies. You may find references to your sensation or intuition preferences in your profile.
Want to quickly figure out what color energy someone may be using? Here's a simple two-step process to do so. First, ask yourself, are they more extroverted, outgoing, and talkative, or are they more introverted, reserved, and reflective? Then ask yourself, are they more focused on tasks and what needs to be done, or are they more concerned about relationships and the people involved? When you put your answers together, you can get a sense of which color energy they are using. Someone direct, action-oriented, and task-focused is likely using fiery red energy, while someone thoughtful and focused on relationships is likely using earth green energy. A person who is outgoing, enthusiastic, and people-focused is likely using sunshine yellow energy, while a person who is reserved and focused on the task is likely drawing on cool blue energy. This model works because it's simple and helps people adjust their communication style. The key is to recognize and use these color energies in your interactions with others all throughout the day.
Most people tell us they're not really excited about filling out the assessment. It's kind of hard over and over to answer questions about how you see yourselves. We actually asked you the same question 25 times in a row. How much red, blue, green, and yellow do you have? Our scale is least to most, which is really just 0 to 6. And that's the way your bar graphs are measured, 0 to 6. Anytime you answered least, that word pair selection was given a 0. Each time you answered most, you were given a 6. We tallied up your responses, averaged your answers, and it produced the graph called your conscious persona. Your conscious persona is the person who shows up when you're thinking about your behavior, aware of your interaction with others. We often refer to this as your game face. The other graph is your less conscious persona, or you in your pajamas. It's you sitting home on a Saturday morning, having a cup of coffee, totally relaxed. That graph is actually the most authentic representation of who you are, because you haven't moved into consciousness yet and thought about the person you want to be that day. It's just you when you're unaware of how you're showing up. We actually shift back and forth between these graphs multiple times throughout the day. What's interesting is that most of the time, brain science says about 95% of the time, we're interacting with people in our less conscious persona, meaning you may not have any awareness about how you're actually showing up. If both your graphs are quite similar, in other words, you're not stretching out of your authentic self and putting on a game face to get the job done, then you're a what you see is what you get kind of individual. You don't change how you show up when you begin to act consciously. Or your graphs may be very different, meaning you're stretching yourself from less conscious to your conscious persona quite a bit. This isn't a bad thing, but for many, it can be very tiring. For some people who are stretching themselves significantly when they move into their conscious state of mind, they're energized by it rather than getting tired from it. And yet again, some people experience a combination of both feelings, tension, stress, and anxiety, and also thrill and excitement. We'll explore more about this now as we unpack the preference flow graph. That's the graph in the middle that helps us understand what each of you is doing to yourself to put your game face on. It's what you're trying to change about yourselves because you believe it's a better version of you to bring to the role that you play. Let's look at this image. This is a person who, when they're aware of their behavior, shows up as determined, competitive, purposeful. But then they decide it's a work day. They wake up, they look in the mirror, and they say, you know what? Today I'm going to be more analytical, cautious, precise, and make it a more deliberate day. I'm going to crank up my blue energy. And the end result is the graph you see on the left. They did push their blue energy up, but others still see more yellow. The middle graph is what you're making an effort to show. You're trying to show it. It doesn't mean that other people always see it, but you're trying to show it. If it's still low in the conscious graph, other people may not see it at all. If a spike goes up, you're trying to bring up the attributes of that color energy. People may or may not actually experience the effort that you're making, though. If a spike goes down in the middle, it would suggest that you have more to give of that particular color. But for some reason, you're holding back using it. This is where we want you to start exploring your journey, uncovering the whys of your shift in behavior. Most people have two opposite energies going up. It's just a pattern that a lot of people fall into. And the most common pattern we see is that your highest spike up in the middle graph is the lowest column in the right-hand graph. If that's true for you, that means every one of you wakes up every day, looks in the mirror Monday through Friday, and literally says to yourselves, okay, time to get ready for work today, and I'm gonna try super hard to be the person I'm not. You can change the preference flow in any moment, like standing here talking with you. If I decide to get very analytical and less emotional and focus more on the data, I'm spiking my cool blue in that moment. But if I throw out a big, enthusiastic smile, I'm spiking yellow energy in that moment. What we want you to think about all day long, 100 times a day, what's the one color that you're spiking? What's the one color you're spiking for the email you're sending? What's the one color you're spiking for the pace at which you communicate with someone? Is it rapid fire conversation, or is it calm, caring, connected, earth green in that moment? I'm moving color energies up and down. Now, it only works when I'm thinking about it. That's what having conscious awareness allows you to do. If you're not thinking about how you're showing up in the moment, you're going to show up the less conscious graph to everybody, which means 1 out of 4 times you get lucky and you're showing up the right color energy for someone. But 3 out of 4 times, you're probably doing it all wrong. Awareness changes everything. By the way, underneath the middle graph, we measure how far you stretch yourself. The higher the number, the more you stretch. The number is a percentage, but it's not 0 to 100%. That's not the range. The range is actually negative 66.7% to positive 66.7%. And most people come in around 35%. Most people stretch and try to bring more of something. In other words, more people have color energies spiking up than down. People push their energies up. Maybe a fourth of the time, you're holding your energy down. But what I want you to think about here is that there's not a good or a bad number underneath your middle graph, but there is a good or a bad feeling that you can have, regardless of what your number is, because the higher your number, the more you stretch. Some people love that feeling. Others are simply exhausted by it. This is your opportunity to reflect on how you feel at the end of the day. Do you have energy to give those in your personal life, or are you fried? Are you spiking colors for success or for pure survival? I've worked with hundreds of people at 66.7%. They're stretching as far as we can measure, and they love it. Think about how you feel in the morning when it's a work day compared to when you wake up on a Saturday. Do you feel differently? What feels really good for most people is taking the middle graph to 0, showing no colors going up or down, not stretching ourselves at all. That graph represents your internal Richter scale. The more movement in that scale, the greater likelihood that you're tired at the end of the day. The learning here is about the importance of being ourselves so that we aren't so tapped at the end of the day. Don't wait until 5 o'clock Friday to breathe a sigh of relief. Consciously think about how you can get back energy by dialing up colors in the moment when you have to and pulling them back down when they're not necessary. You can reclaim a lot of energy back if you manage your movement in between your two graphs. If you experience what we call the Sunday scaries, you need to explore why the movement you're making from less conscious persona to conscious persona triggers you. There's so much to be learned about how we're showing up each day when we pay attention to our preference flow and what we do as we move back and forth between the left and the right-hand graphs. Think about taking some time and really noticing how you feel on a weekday morning, preparing for work, and especially on a Sunday afternoon if you work Monday through Friday, and realize Monday is right around the corner. Wouldn't it be great to feel just as good on a Monday morning as you do on a Saturday morning? If we had a group of retirees take this assessment, do you know what would be going on in their preference flow? Not much, because they're doing exactly what they want to be doing. They aren't stretching themselves. Remember, it's not about the work that you do. It's about how you feel about how you're showing up each day. And your preference flow is where you'll find all the answers.
Now that Linda has given an explanation of the Insights Discovery graphs, I'd like to share with her what's happening in my graphs and then give her a chance to share her graphs with me as well. We'll also see how they compare to each other.
That sounds great.
If you look at my conscious graph, that's exactly how I answered the questions on the evaluator. So it's how I see myself when I'm self-aware. It shows that I lead with very high yellow energy.
It actually looks like you've maxed out the yellow energy.
Yeah, in this case, it does mean that I chose the yellow word pair on every single question, so I do like to enjoy the moment and engage with others enthusiastically. But right below it, you can see I've got pretty high red energy as well at 76%.
So that would suggest that while you want to enjoy the journey, you're still very much about making sure that you're driving results too.
Yep. And both my red and my yellow energy are above the midline, so that suggests that I show red and yellow energy frequently. What color energies do you have above the midline in your conscious graph?
Over the midline, I've got high red and high yellow energy, just like you. They're both at 89%, meaning I need to enjoy the journey just as much as I need to execute and drive results quickly.
That's interesting to me because I see a lot more red energy in how you show up with me. You're always trying to get things done and trying to get me to get more things done at a pace that's a little faster than my natural style.
Well, I definitely have a call to action that's quicker than yours, which is probably why you see more red in me than you do in yourself. Even though you exhibit a lot of red, it's funny that I feel the need to push you along even at a faster pace.
It is.
Probably not fair to insist that people around me all operate at the same speed that I do.
If we look at our lower color energies, we both have similar amounts of green and both have very low blue energy.
It makes you wonder as a couple how we take care of the details at all. I suspect that maybe we don't, and we hope that somebody else does.
Well, it is interesting how similar we are. Not every couple shows up as close to each other in the Insights graphs as we do. You can see we're both highly extroverted with high red and yellow energy, which explains our loud and energetic household. Now, Linda, tell me about your less conscious persona graph, which is what you're like when you're not thinking about how you're showing up.
So when I wake up in the morning, I show very high yellow energy, but also over the midpoint is my red energy. So that would suggest that naturally, my more natural self still has that drive for action, but not quite as much as I do when I put my game face on.
And when I look at my less conscious graph, it's very similar to my conscious graph. That suggests that when I think about how I'm showing up, especially for work, I don't change very much from my natural style. I don't try and show up differently, which is why both my graphs are so similar. As a result, I don't have a lot going on in the middle graph, which we call preference flow. Preference flow is how we are channeling our energies up or down when we think about showing up consciously. If you look at my preference flow, you can see that I'm pushing up a little bit of green energy. It means I'm trying to be a little more amiable, patient, and caring when I think about showing up for the benefit of others. My red also goes up just a little bit, not much. What's happening in your preference flow?
My largest spike up is earth green energy, and that's because I start with very little earth green in my natural or less conscious persona. But when I become consciously aware of myself, especially thinking about work, I really try to be a little more calm, patient, and relaxed. I know that this shows up for me as each time I finish delivering a workshop, I make a point to send a note or call my teammates who've helped put the program together, and I thank them for all the work that they did. Making that call doesn't naturally come easy for me, but I recognize that I connect better with the team when I thank them for the hard work that they've done, because they all have a lot of earth green energy and really like to be appreciated for their efforts. Just like the effort you make to push up your red, I do the same thing trying to bring actually a little more red energy to my game face when I show up at work. But then I've got a little more going on my preference flow than you do. I see that I'm dropping my yellow energy down just a bit, but not much. I'm really dropping down the amount of blue energy more than anything that I bring to work. This bringing less blue energy makes me wonder why I'm not actually trying to be more analytical, cautious, and precise when I put on my game face. It's probably because I really don't like managing details or processes that I associate with cool blue energy. I'm really more of a fire, ready, aim type style.
Yes, you are. My preference flow is just 10.5%, so I really don't experience the Sunday scaries much at all. Probably because I really enjoy what I do, and I feel that the way I'm naturally wired is a good way for me to show up to do the work that I do. There's no one number in the preference flow that's right for anyone, but what we'd like to get you thinking about is how do you feel Sunday afternoon when you're preparing for work? Some people feel tension and stress, and other people are thrilled and excited when they think about who they're choosing to be for the work that they do. Take a look at your preference flow and give some thought to how you react when you raise those energies that are going up or even lower some energies that might be pointing down. There is a lot to be learned about who we are and how we see ourselves doing the work that we do when we spend time focused on understanding our individual preference flows. Anything else you'd like to mention about your graphs, Linda?
Well, only that when I look at your low blue energy and my low blue energy, it's a wonder we can keep a roof over our head and the bills paid.
Now it's time to understand the Insights Discovery Wheel. The one in your profile shows your unique wheel position, which we'll explain in a minute. It tells you more about you and your preferences. If you're experiencing this course as a team, you might have the Insights Wheel with all of your team members on it, and we call this the Insights Team Wheel. At first glance, we know that this wheel looks very complicated to most people. But as we break it down for you piece by piece, we will help you understand what it means to you, and especially what it means when teams see themselves plotted on the wheel together. It's an excellent way to understand a team culture, as well as to understand which team members are like you, which ones are very different from you, and also which ones might be able to help you in different situations where different preferences might be needed. The first thing you see is that the wheel is comprised of 24 spokes. That's because there are 24 unique color combinations, and each spoke in the wheel represents one of those 24 combinations. At the heart of the wheel, of course, in the center, you see the 4 original colors: fiery red, sunshine yellow, earth green, and cool blue. Emanating out from those 4 central colors in each of the 24 spokes, people can see where they are represented based on the order of their 4 color energies. If someone is in the same spoke as you, they share the same order of color energies, but in each of the spokes, you'll notice that there's 3 positions, or 3 rings in the wheel. And those 3 rings represent the intensity of the color energies and whether each of the colors is above the midline or below it. You'll also notice that you either have 1 or 2 dots on your Insights wheel in your profile. If it looks like you have just 1 dot, you actually have 2, but they sit directly on top of each other. About 2/3 of people have what looks like 2 dots. One of them is faded or dimly colored, which represents your less conscious persona, and then the bright dot, which we call your actual wheel position. It represents your conscious persona, which is you being self-aware in the moment. If your 2 dots sit on top of each other and it looks like 1, you tend to change less than others because the order of the colors is the same when you are aware and also when you're unaware of your behavior. You have 2 colors in inclined usage and 2 lesser colors in what we call reluctant usage below the midline. If you have any other combination between your color order or intensity above and below the midline, then you'll see both the faded and the bright dot on your wheel. As we talk from this point forward about the team wheel, it's always the bright dot that we use, which is simply you when you're thinking about how you're showing up. In looking again at the 3 rings, if your bright dot is in the outermost ring, it's because you have just 1 color energy above 50%, or above the midline as we call it, in your left-hand conscious graph. It suggests that you strongly demonstrate that 1 color and are reluctant to demonstrate the other 3 below the midline. We call this position on the wheel the focused ring because an individual here is likely focused on mainly 1 color energy and how they show up. It's not common, however, as we only see it 3% of the time. Moving in towards the center of the wheel, the next ring we call classic. If your bright dot falls in this middle ring, it's because you have 2 colors above the midline and 2 colors below. It's actually the most common position that we see for people. And it's because people most typically use their top 2 color energies. In fact, 54% of our profiles are people whose wheel position falls into this classic ring. Moving inward again to the smallest ring in the center, it represents those people who demonstrate 3 color energies above the midline and have reluctant usage of only 1. Surprisingly though, 43% of all our respondents in the profile fall into this smaller ring. We call it accommodating because it suggests that individuals are capable of accommodating comfortably 3 of the 4 color energies. This doesn't guarantee that they'll be better communicators, but it does suggest that they have more opportunity to draw on more color energies than they naturally possess than someone in either the classic or the focused ring. Moving now beyond the 24 spokes and the 3 rings, you'll notice that 8 of the spokes are gray. These spokes are gray because they represent a pathway, or literally a bridge, back and forth from one side of the wheel to the other side. If your bright dot falls in one of these gray spokes, it means that your top 2 colors are opposite. Carl Jung defined these as creative types. He suggested that there is a creative tension when someone can move back and forth between 2 opposite preferences. The 8 gray spokes represent a person's ability to more comfortably demonstrate all 4 of the insight's colors because they lead with 2 opposite colors when they are aware, and with the other 2 color energies when they are unaware of how they're showing up. What that means is that people who lead with opposite colors can jump back and forth across the wheel showing opposite behaviors. For example, they can jump from showing cool blue to sunshine yellow quite easily, which means they can be quite versatile, but also hard for other people to recognize their unique style or their preferred color energies in any given moment. Lastly, you see the 8 labels around the outside of the insights wheel, and we simply call these the 8 types. At first glance, you see the original 4 colors there, but you also see 4 new blended colors, which are how we move from 4 colors to 8 types. These 8 types represent the likely behavior of someone whose wheel position falls into one of them. And in the next video, we'll share much more about the 8 types and how you can learn more about yourself and others with a deeper understanding of them. And if you're wondering about the numbers representing all 72 positions on the wheel, well, they're simply like a street address, simply a way to point out each of the positions and identify where they are, but the numbers have no meaning by themselves. Now, some of you are going through this journey with your team, and your profile includes a team wheel. Even if that's not you, I want to share with you some of the benefits of this team tool. It's one of my favorite tools when I'm working with an organization because it can help me discern at a glance where there's a potential for conflict between team members who might have very different preferences in communication. I can also see possible imbalances in a team's makeup, but what's really fun is seeing how a team could work more effectively together. I was working with an organization that had a manager with a strong blue preference and someone on her team with a strong red preference. Now, what you need to know is that these preferences have very different ways of communicating. Blue likes details, lots and lots of details, and red energy likes to keep it short. So you can see where there's an opportunity for conflict. But knowing the differences in communication built a bridge between them. The manager was able to communicate when she needed lots of detail, and the person on her team was able to understand why. Conversely, when the manager received a short but sweet email outside of those times, she understood the why behind the brevity. That's the magic of these insights. They can bring understanding and the why behind behaviors that otherwise would be frustrating and maybe even a source of conflict. Now, there is no perfect team wheel, as every team is different, and different industries, roles, and even geography can have an impact. But whatever your team wheel looks like, it's valuable to help your team understand each other.
We're now going to explore each of the 8 types that come together to form the Insights Discovery 8-type wheel. You may have noticed the names around the Insights Discovery wheel. These don't refer to job functions. They are descriptions of color energies. For example, a director isn't necessarily the director of a company. Rather, the name represents the directing nature of fiery red energy. Similarly, sunshine yellow energy is inspiring, earth green energy is supporting, and cool blue energy is observing. Let's walk through each of the 8 types, starting with the director. Directors embody fiery red energy and align with Jung's extroverted thinking type. Directors are straightforward and results-driven. They are logical, task-focused, and determined to get things done quickly and effectively. Their motivation is to achieve results that serve a practical purpose. They will not hesitate to take the lead and be directive. Although sometimes too impatient, they like to be respected for their decisiveness. Next around the wheel, a combination of fiery red and sunshine yellow energy creates orange. This is the motivator. Motivators are entrepreneurial, energetic, and innovative. They express themselves enthusiastically and optimistically about the possibilities inherent in any situation. They love exploring new ideas and inspiring others to take action. Their goal is innovation and change, and they need freedom and flexibility to think and work outside the box. Positivity is a common trait. Motivators are not afraid to take risks, even when others might hesitate. Inspirers embody sunshine yellow energy and align with Jung's extroverted feeling type. Inspirers bring an infectious enthusiasm to any situation. They are outgoing, energetic, and always looking for the positives. Inspirers love collaborating, contributing, and brainstorming. They prefer a relaxed atmosphere with lively discussions over formal, structured meetings. A blend of sunshine yellow and earth green energy creates lime at the bottom of the wheel. This is the helper. Helpers are relationship-focused community builders. They foster trust, collaboration, and shared values in teams. Helpers encourage open dialogue and promote creative solutions that bring people together and impact a positive future. They believe that when people genuinely care for one another, teams thrive.
Continuing around the wheel, we come to the supporters. They embody earth green energy and align with Jung's introverted feeling type. Supporters focus on helping others succeed. They are empathetic, patient, and values-oriented, preferring a democratic approach that ensures everyone has a voice when making decisions. Their motivation is to create harmony and a climate of trust and mutual respect. However, if pushed, they will not hesitate to defend their values. A combination of cool blue and earth green energy results in teal on the left side of the wheel. This is the coordinator. Coordinators are realistic, grounded, and highly organized. They take in what is happening around them and can isolate the most important things to concentrate on. They excel at clarifying complex issues and identifying the most practical solutions. They prefer structure and organization over abstract thought and will look to the past for proven methods before taking action. They use justifiable caution when experiencing something for the first time. Next are the observers, who embody cool blue energy and align with Jung's introverted thinking type. Observers are deep thinkers who thrive on logic, analysis, and careful planning. They prefer to spend time reflecting, asking questions, and ensuring every detail is correct before making a decision. They excel at strategy and planning, but may take longer to act as they work through all the possibilities first. Finally, at the top of the wheel, a combination of cool blue and fiery red energy creates purple. This is the reformer. Reformers are task-focused, using a thoughtful and logical approach to getting things done efficiently and effectively. They expect others to be accountable for their own work, just as they are for theirs. Reformers will not allow personal concerns to impede success and will use intellect, precision, and determination to achieve it. Their ability to analyze and plan makes them strong problem solvers and decision makers. Understanding these 8 types allows you to appreciate and adapt to different personalities, making your interactions more effective and meaningful. While we always recommend using the Insights Discovery 4-color model as a simple and effective way to recognize personality preferences, we also encourage you, when possible, to have conversations with others to share your 8 types. By sharing and discussing your types, you can build a deeper understanding of each other and strengthen your connections. The key to understanding the 8-color model is recognizing that we are all a blend of color energies. We are not just our top color. Often, what sits underneath our leading color really determines how we are being perceived by others. For example, imagine 2 people who both lead with fiery red energy. One has sunshine yellow as their second color. They move fast and celebrate their successes with enthusiasm. The other person has cool blue as their second color. They also focus on getting things done, but with precision and careful planning. See the difference? Even though both individuals are fiery red, their secondary color changes their approach, behavior, and communication style. This is why looking beyond someone's leading color energy gives you a more complete and accurate understanding of who they are. When you start seeing people in full color, rather than just their leading top color, you'll notice even greater depth in their personalities. And the more you refine this skill, the better you'll become at adapting, connecting, and communicating with those around you.
At the heart of the Insights Discovery model is the ability to adapt and connect with the people around you, whether at work, at home, or in your daily interactions. The key? Small adjustments make a big difference. Let's explore how you can easily flex your style to better connect with each of the 4 color energies. People who lead with fiery red energy are all about driving results fast. When communicating with them, be direct and to the point. Focus on results and objectives. Don't be indecisive or focus on feelings. And remember, they like to maintain control of the conversation. By keeping things focused and efficient, you'll get fiery red's attention. People who lead with earth green energy value harmony, trust, and synergy among team members. When interacting with them, be patient and calm, and give them time to process. Ask for their opinion and show support. Do not take advantage of their good nature or push them to do things that don't align with their values. Keep in mind that earth green thrives in supportive environments, so a little consideration goes a long way. People who lead with cool blue energy value accuracy, structure, and excellence. Their goal is a complete and total understanding of their subject matter. They typically prefer to work quietly alone, so sending an email is often a much better approach than just popping into their office or work area. When communicating with someone who leads with cool blue, be thorough, well-prepared, and provide clear details in writing. Give them time to think, perhaps by sending an agenda before meeting. And when possible, avoid changing timelines at the last minute. Remember, cool blue appreciates logical, well-organized communication, so take the time to get it right. Finally, sunshine yellow. People who lead with sunshine yellow energy are always looking to enjoy the journey, so bring enthusiasm, energy, and excitement when interacting with them. Keep your tone upbeat and positive, and make conversations engaging and interactive. Don't overwhelm them with excessive details or long emails. They won't read them. By keeping interactions light, engaging, and full of energy, you'll build strong connections with sunshine yellow.
Here's the best part. You don't have to change who you are to connect with others. We want you to maintain your unique style. When we talk about adapting, we're not asking you to be someone you're not. You only need to lean in by about 5% to match the style of the person you're communicating with. So keep that in mind. Just a small shift can make a huge difference in how effectively you connect. We end all our workshops with this image because it shows the ultimate goal of the Insights Discovery model: to make connections with other people. Once you begin noticing those around you and identifying their leading color energies, you will become an expert at being direct with fiery red energy and being patient with earth green. You'll know to be enthusiastic for sunshine yellow energy and logical with cool blue. Now, imagine applying this approach throughout your day, in emails, texts, meetings, and conversations. Wow. Just think about how much more productive, effective, and impactful you could be.
As we wrap up this journey, we want to leave you with a few key thoughts to carry forward as you develop your ability to recognize and adapt to different personality types. First, look for the gifts in every color energy. Each one brings something valuable to the table. We've explored the incredible strengths within each style, so focus on those good day traits and appreciate what each person contributes. Second, celebrate the diversity you have on your team. High-performing teams aren't made up of just 1 or 2 energy types. They thrive when all 4 color energies are represented. When you need a certain strength, lean on the people who bring that gift naturally. And finally, take action. Ask yourself, what am I going to do differently starting today? Our hope is that this experience has helped you see people through a new lens, one that leads to deeper understanding, better communication, and stronger relationships.
Keep the great conversations going, not just at work, but with friends and family too. Remember, everyone sees the world through their own unique lens. What people do and say is shaped by their own experiences and perspectives. Make space for those differences. Be intentional about how you communicate, and whenever possible, communicate in full color. It's been an honor guiding you through this journey. Now go out there and make meaningful connections.